private jet ang dumiretso at sumalpok sa isang nakaparadang aircraft sa Arizona, USA.
Nakaligtas naman po kaya ang piloto ng private jet? Nako, ay aalamin po natin ang mga detalye ng balita niyan maya-maya. Magandang gabi. Ako po si Ricky Mathay.
Ako si Nina Rich Alagao Flores. Ito ang mata ng Agila International. Para naman sa mga headlines ngayong araw ng Martes.
Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet nagkita sa isang bilateral meeting sa Malacanang.
Campaign period para sa 2025 midterm polls nagsimula na ngayong araw ng Martes.
Beijing sinagot ang pahayag ng US at Japan ukol sa West Philippine Sea.
Higit sa 50 katao patay sa isang bus crash sa Guatemala.
At ating silipin ang itsura ng Golden Anniversary logo ng Philippine Basketball Association. Na ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. at Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet ang mga kasunduan na mas magpapaigting ng bilateral relations sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng Cambodia.
Ilan sa mga kasunduang ito ay ang pinaigting na kolaborasyon ng dalawang bansa sa agrikultura at agribusiness gayon din sa investment.
I'm confident that through this engagement, we will see more Filipinos investing in Cambodia and more Cambodians investing in the Philippines. To our friends from Cambodia, I wish to reiterate that the Philippines is open for business and we welcome the opportunity to partner and achieve greater commercial successes with you. We also see Cambodia as an important partner in ensuring food security. I am pleased that we have come to an agreement to pursue stronger collaboration in agriculture and in agribusiness.
Kasama sa mga nilagdaang kasunduan ay ang agreement for the elimination of double taxation with respect to taxes on income and the prevention of tax evasion and avoidance, Memorandum of Understanding on Agricultural and Agribusiness Cooperation at iba pa. Samantala, tinalakay naman sa bilateral meeting ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. at Prime Minister Hun Manet ang pagpapalakas ng bilateral relations at pagsusulong ng kooperasyon sa transnational crimes, defense, trade, tourism at regional and multilateral cooperation. Umaasa naman si PBBM na ang pagbisita ng Cambodian leader sa Pilipinas ay magiging hudyat na ng matatag na kooperasyon ng Manila at Phnom Penh.
Opisyal nang nagsimula ngayong araw na Martes ang 70 araw ng campaign period para po yan sa mga senatorial candidates at party list groups para sa May 2025 elections. Ayon sa COMELEC, mayroong 66 senatorial candidates ang 156 party list groups ang mangangampanya hanggang May 10, 2025. Sa kabila nito, ang mga kandidatong tatakbo para sa House of Representatives at iba pa mga local posts ay papayagan na magsimula ng kanilang pangangampanya sa March 28. Sa kasalukuyan, nasa higit 69 na milyon ang bilang ng mga nakarehistrong mga botante para sa midterm polls. Higit sa 1 milyon sa mga botante ay mga overseas voters kung saan ay maaari bumoto na sila sa April 13 hanggang May 12, habang ang mga local absentee voters naman ay pwedeng bumoto mula April 28 hanggang 30. Binigyan diin naman ni COMELEC Chairperson George Garcia na ipatutupad ng poll body ang mahigpit na kaayusan laban sa mga kandidatong nagkakabit ng campaign material, subalit hindi sumusunod sa itinakdang pamantayan para sa pangangampanya.
Bantay sarado ngayon ang Philippine National Police o PNP sa mga inilagay na checkpoints sa buong bansa para kanilang masiguro ang seguridad ngayong pagsisimula ng campaign period para sa nalalapit na halalan. Ayon sa PNP, patutupad nila ang striktong checkpoint sa 403 areas of concern sa bansa para maiwasan ang mga insidenteng election-related violence. Mula sa 403 na areas of concern, 141 rito ay nasa Luzon, 67 ang nasa Visayas at 195 naman ang nasa Mindanao. Sa kabila ng paghihigpit ng seguridad ay nilinaw ng pambansang pulisya na hindi nila gusto na ma-delay ng sobra-sobra ang mga taga-suporta at mga kumakandidato sa eleksyon na dumaraan sa mga checkpoint. Anila, respetuhin din sana ng mga ito ang mga umiiral na checkpoints dahil para naman ito sa kaligtasan ng nakararami.
Inaasahan ni Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel Jr. na bababa sa 49 pesos kada kilo ang presyo ng commercial rice sa susunod na buwan. Ayon sa kalihim, malapit nang dumating ang mga bagong stocks ng bigas mula sa Vietnam, Myanmar at Cambodia. Nakipag-usap na anya ang Department of Agriculture sa rice importers, traders at maging sa retailers para hilingin na bawasan ang presyo ng bigas sa mas makatuwirang halaga. Ang kasalukuyan pong maximum suggested retail price o MSRP ng imported rice ay 55 pesos kada kilo. Kasunod ito ng approval ng kagawaran na payagan ang paglabas ng buffer stocks ng bigas.
Mahigpit na binabantayan ng Philippine Navy ang isang Chinese research vessel na namataan sa archipelagic waters malapit sa Palawan. Ayon kay Philippine Navy spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, batay sa pinakahuling monitoring, namataan ang Chinese vessel na Lanhai 101 sa 70 nautical miles west-northwest ng Lubang, Occidental, Mindoro. Tumatakbuhan niya ito sa bilis na 12 knots at naglalayag patungong kanluran ng Subic Bay. Ayon kay Trinidad, wala naman silang nakitang violation sa Chinese research vessel dahil pasok ito sa Innocent Passage. Unang namataan ang naturang barko noong Linggo sa silangan ng Palawan at bumabaybay sa archipelagic sea lanes ng Pilipinas malapit sa Corona sa Palawan. Kasalukuyan nang inieskorta ng BRP Andres Bonifacio at BRP Melchora Aquino ng Philippine Coast Guard ang Chinese ship palabas sa archipelagic waters ng Pilipinas.
Inaasahan pong tataas ang singil sa kuryente ng Meralco ngayong buwan. Ang pagtaas sa singil sa bill ng kuryente ay bunsod ng implementasyon ng Meralco ng increase sa household rate. Batay sa anunsyo ng kumpanya, nasa 28 sentimos kada kilowatt-hour ang dagdag sa kanilang household electricity rate para sa buwan ng Pebrero. Ibig po sabihin, may dagdag na 57 pesos sa monthly bill ng customer na kumukonsumo ng 200 kilowatt-hour.
Sa kabila ng panawagan ng ilang mambabatas at ilang miyembro ng publiko na madaliin ang paglilitis ng Senado sa isang ipinasang impeachment case ng Kamara laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte, ay sinabi ni Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero na hindi sisimulan agad ng Senado ang proseso ng impeachment. Nang tanungin naman si Senador Escudero kung ano ang kanyang interpretasyon sa Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 4 ng 1987 Constitution na nagsasaad na in case the verified complaint or resolution of impeachment is filed by at least one-third of all the members of the House, the same shall constitute the articles of impeachment and trial by the Senate shall forthwith proceed. Ay nanindigan pa rin ng Senador na hindi dapat magsimula agad ang proseso ng impeachment matapos na i-endorso ng Kamara ang impeachment complaint sa Senado. Inihalimbawa ni Escudero ang mga kasong impeachment laban sa yumaong dating Chief Justice Renato Corona at dating Ombudsman Merceditas Gutierrez na parehong hindi agad sinimula ng Senado. Sa kaso ni Chief Justice Corona anya, inendorso ang impeachment case sa Senado isang linggo bago ipagpaliban ng Kongreso ang sesyon nito. Ngunit nagsimula lamang anya ang impeachment court matapos ang 1.5 buwan. Ipinaliwanag rin ng Senador ang kaso ni Gutierrez na ang impeachment case ay ipinadala sa Senado 3 araw bago ang adjournment pero ang paglilitis ay itinakda pagkatapos ng mahigit 1 buwan. Samantala, hindi kumbinsido ang mga senador sa panukala na magkaroon ng special session upang talakayin ang reklamong impeachment laban kay VP Sara. Sinabi ni Senador J.V. Ejercito na kalahati sa mga mambabatas ay nakafocus ngayon sa kanilang kampanya bilang mga re-electionists at mas mahalagaan niya sa kanila ang political survival. Ayaw ding magbigay ng iba pang komento ni Senador Ejercito sa issue ng impeachment dahil direktibaan niya ito ni Senate President Escudero.
Parang hindi masyadong kasi siguro probably half is already busy on their campaign, busy on their political survival, no? Sabihin na natin kasi hindi mo na masabi ang panahon ngayon. Pag ikaw ay kandidato, dapat running scared ka lagi. So hindi mo rin masisi sila na nandoon na ang kanilang focus nasa kanilang mga political campaigns. So siguro one of the reasons na hindi masyado ang usapin tungkol dito sa pag-convene ng special session. May instruction si SP sa amin because we will be sitting as senator judges. So hindi kami pwedeng magsalita sa ngayon anything about it actually, no. Whether pro or con, kung ano man yung pag-pressure sa amin, kung ano, ay hindi namin pwedeng pakinggan no? Yun lang, may specific instructions sa atin si Senate President Cheese na if possible, wag magsalita about the impeachment.
Pansamantalang ipinagbabawal ng Department of Agriculture o DA ang pagpasok ng mga imported domestic at wild birds na galing po ng Maryland at Missouri dahil sa banta ng highly pathogenic avian influenza o bird flu. Upang maiwasan ang pagkalat ng bird flu sa Pilipinas ay pinagbabawal din ang mga byproducts ito kagaya na lamang ng karne, itlog, day-old chickens at semen. Nagkaroon ng bird flu outbreak sa Maryland at Missouri noong January 23 at umabot sa 89 na kawan ng mga ibon ang nagpositibo sa bird flu habang hindi bababa sa 13.2 million naman sa mga ibon na ito ang sinasabing apektado ng nasabing sakit. Sa ilalim ng Memorandum Order No. 7 ng DA, sinuspindi rin ang pag-issue ng sanitary at phytosanitary import clearance para sa mga produktong manok mula sa Maryland at Missouri. Nauna na rito, nagpataw din ang DA ng import ban sa South Dakota, US at East Otago, Waitaki at Canterbury ng New Zealand dahil pa rin sa bird flu.
Susunod, Beijing binweltahan ang pahayag ng Japan at Amerika.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky may victory plan na nga bang ilalatag para kay Donald Trump?
At nagkakalabuan bang ceasefire deal ng Hamas at Israel? Yan at iba pang mga balita sa pagbabalik ng Mata ng Agila International.
This sport.
If you like me blink twice, are you naughty or nice? Maybe add a little Pebrero sa Lunes. Masarap ang kwentuhan sa Barangay San Isidro, Parañaque City. Sa Martes, first time natin sa Barangay North Bay Boulevard North, Navotas City. Sa Miyerkules, bibisita naman tayo sa Tanza 1, Navotas City. Sa Huwebes, see you mga taga-Barangay 98 Zone 8, Tondo, Manila. Sigurado namang the best ang Biyernes sa Barangay Malanday, Valenzuela City. Sabay-sabay tayong bumati ng good morning kasama kaming kabarangay nyo. LDE, Love, Tony Pet and everything.
Love, Tony Pet and everything. Together, Sunday 25.
Ang SBP.
If you like me blink twice, are you naughty or nice? Maybe add a little.
Kinondena ng China ang isang pahayag na inilabas ng US at Japan na maglalaman o naglalaman ng kritisismo laban sa provocative activity ng Beijing sa pinagtatalunang karagatan sa West Philippine Sea.
美日联合声明涉华的相关内容，公然干涉中国内政，攻击抹黑中国，渲染地区紧张局势，中方对此表示强烈不满和坚决反对。中方已向美方和日方提出了严正交涉。
Ang naturang pahayag ng China ay inilabas matapos ang pagpupulong ni US President Donald Trump at Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba sa Washington noong nakaraang linggo na nagbigay ng pagtutol sa unlawful maritime claims, militarization ng reclaimed features at threatening and provocative activities sa WPS. Tinawag ng China na pag-atakean niya at pagpapalaganap ng maling impormasyon ng naturang pahayag ng dalawang bansa. Bilang tugon, sinabi ni Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun na ang mga pahayag ng US at Japan ay isang panghihimasok sa mga internal affairs ng China at binigyan diin na ang mga pahayag ng mga ito ay layong palalain ang tensyon sa rehiyon. Dagdag pa niya, nagsagawa ang China ng solemn representation sa parehong mga bansa.
1月17日，习近平主席曾应约同美国总统特朗普通电话。 中方已经发布了有关消息稿。
Maalalang matagal nang inaangkin ng China ang halos isang kabuoang soberanya ng WPS, isang territorial claim na siyang dahilan ng hidwaan sa claims ng teritoryo ng ilang mga bansa sa Timog Silangang Asya, katulad ng Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, Brunei at Pilipinas. Sa kabila ng international ruling noong 2016 na nagsasabing walang legal na batayan ang mga claims ng China. Kung saan kamakailan nga ay mas pinaigting ng Beijing ang kanilang mga hakbang sa rehiyon, kaya't dumami ang international scrutiny at ang panawagan para sa de-escalation sa rehiyon.
Dumating na si impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol ng South Korea sa Constitutional Court upang humarap sa kanyang impeachment trial. Sa labas po ng korte ay maagang nagtipon-tipon ang mga taga-suporta ni Yoon upang manawagan na ibasura ang reklamong impeachment at ibalik sa pwesto si Yoon. Sigaw ng mga taga-suporta ni Yoon, dapat lamang na ipawalang bisa ang impeachment dahil may kinikilingan umano ang Constitutional Court.
대통령의 계엄이 합법적이었고 또한 이제 누구도 다치지 않는 것을 대통령께서 강조를 했다는 것 그것이 꼭 밝혀졌으면 좋겠다라는 마음으로 나왔습니다.
오늘 여기 집회에 참석하게 된 동기는 현재 재판소가 너무 편파적으로 재판 진행하고 있고 한마디로 국민 한 사람으로서 너무 속상해서 지금 이 집회에 참석했습니다.
Sa loob naman ng korte ay 4 na testigo ang dumalo. Isa sa mga tinawag ng korte para tumestigo ay si former Safety Minister Lee Sang-min and National Security Advisor Shin Won-sik. Bukod po sa impeachment ay nahaharap din si Yoon sa isang insurrection case. Giit ng kampo ni Yoon ay wala itong nilabag na batas matapos itong magdeklara ng martial law sa South Korea. Subalit, paliwanag naman ng ilang mambabatas ay isang grave crime ang kasong insurrection.
헌법 파괴와 내란의 행위는 국가의 중대한 범죄이고 그에 대한 대가도 톡톡할 것으로 피할 길이 없어 보입니다.
Nagbabala ang North Korea na handa ang puwersang militar nito na gumawa ng anumang aksyon na kinakailangan matapos dumaong ang USS Alexandria submarine ng Estados Unidos sa Busan sa South Korea. Ayon sa Defense Ministry ng Pyongyang, ang mapanganib na aksyon ng US ay maaaring humantong sa isang military confrontation sa paligid ng Korean Peninsula. Nagdudulot rin nila ng matinding banta sa pambansang seguridad ng North Korea ang pagdaong ng US nuclear submarine sa South Korea. Depensa naman ng South Korea, ang pagdating ng USS Alexandria submarine sa Busan ay nagbibigay ng pagkakataon sa hukbong dagat nito na makipagpalitan ng impormasyon sa puwersa ng Estados Unidos at upang makabuuan nila sila ng isang combined defense posture.
Pumayag si Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky sa kahilingan ni US President Donald Trump na makakuha ng rare earth minerals. Ito ay bahagi pa rin ng patuloy ng pagsuporta ng Estados Unidos sa pakikidigma ng Ukraine sa Russia. Sinabi ni Zelensky na mas mababa sa 20% ang mineral resources ng Ukraine at kalahati raw ng mga rare earth deposits na ito ay nasa lupaing nasasakop ng Russia. Paliwanag ng experts, mahalaga ang rare earth minerals dahil ginagamit ito sa paggawa ng high-performance magnets, electric motors at consumer electronics.
Ціни цьому реально немає. Тобто це великі гроші, дуже великі. І тому це треба захищати. І тому, якщо ми говоримо про діл, те, що хочуть американці, так давайте діл. Ми тільки за. Давайте діл.
Що відбувається?
Nanawagan din si Zelensky sa mga kaalyado nitong tulungan ng Ukraine na protektahan ang Dnipro region laban kay Russian President Vladimir Putin. Saganaan niya ang lugar na ito sa rare earth minerals. Nilinaw din ni Zelensky na hindi nito pinamimigay ang resources ng Ukraine. Pag-aalok lamang niya ito ng isang beneficial partnership sa Estados Unidos dahil marami itong naitulong sa Kyiv laban pa rin sa Moscow.
Nakatakdang bumisita sa Ukraine si US Special Envoy for Ukraine and Russia na si Keith Kellogg sa darating na Pebrero 20.
General Kellogg going to Ukraine this week, sir, or soon? Yeah, it is Keith Kellogg. General Kellogg is an excellent guy, and he's spending time doing various things. We have numerous people working on numerous different problems. You know, when I left office, wasn't long ago, a little more than 4 years ago, we had no wars, we didn't have problems. Now we got the whole world is blowing up, but we'll put out the fire.
На цьому тижні будуть деякі люди із команди президента Трампа серйозні у нас в Україні до ще Мюнхенської конференції. Потім буде Мюнхенська конференція, у мене буде там ряд зустрічей із віце-президентом. Також будуть зустрічі із командою президента Трампа. І у моєї команди будуть окремі там зустрічі, розмови. Робота, скажімо так, після цього буде продуктивна робота і в Україні з колегами з Сполучених Штатів Америки.
Parehong kinumpirma ni US President Donald Trump at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky na inaasahan nilang magkakaroon ng resulta ang pagbisita ng US official sa war-stricken country. Nais magbigay ng opisyal ng komprehensibong impormasyon sa kalagayan ng frontline ng Russia at Ukraine. Nakabase rin sa pagpupulong na magaganap dito ang magiging estado ng tulong militar na ibibigay ng Estados Unidos sa Kiev. Tinitignan din ng Estados Unidos ang posibilidad na makipagkasundo ito upang mapalago ang industriya ng Ukraine sa kayamanan nito sa critical minerals.
You talk with Zelensky this week, sir?
Yeah, probably.
By telephone, what's your
He
message?
wants to make a deal. Let's see. We'll see. We're dealing with him, and I think they both want to make a deal, but we'll have to see. It's got to be done.
What is Zelensky
Would have never happened if I were president. This would never have happened. Millions of people are dead.
І це те, про що я говорив президенту Трампу, коли ми сиділи. Я йому сказав, це план перемоги. Чому тут перемога? Перемога для всіх. Ми захистимо ці трильйони грошей, ми не дамо видобуток, який потім перетвориться в технології для цих трьох країн цієї осі, так, зла. Наприклад, з Келлогом, з Больцем моя команда працює щодня. Я знаю, щодня. І вчора був контакт, і сьогодні був контакт. І, в принципі, щодня є контакти, проговорюють якісь загальні речі. Ну, конкретика буде трішки пізніше.
Ginawa ito sa kabila ng mga pahayag ni Trump na nakikipag-usap umano siya kay Russian President Vladimir Putin. Hindi pa kinukumpirma ng Kremlin ang katotohanan ng pahayag ng US President. Itinuturing din na mahalaga ang pakikipagtulungan sa bagong US administration para makamit ng tuluyan ang tunay na kapayapaan.
Також наші команди працюють над нашим діалогом, нашою зустрічю між мною і президентом Трампом. Він говорив про це. Мені здається, що в цьому немає ніякого секрету. Питання, коли це буде, можливості обох сторін. А те, що вони спілкуються, ну, подивимось, хто, як і чи це так.
Nagbitiw mula sa kanyang pwesto si President Klaus Iohannis ng Romania ilang araw bago ang planong pagpapatalsik sa kanya.
Pentru a scuti România și pe cetățenii români de această criză, de această evoluție inutilă și negativă, demisionez din funcția de președinte al României. Voi pleca din funcție poi-mâine, pe 12 februarie. Dumnezeu să binecuvânteze România.
Iniluluto na kasi ang isang impeachment case laban kay Iohannis dahil sa kanyang pagkansela ng presidential elections noong nakaraang taon. Maraming mga oposisyon ang nagsulong na suspendihin ito dahil sa desisyon niya na manatili sa pwesto ng hanggang buwan na Mayo. At dahil po sa pangyayari ay nagresulta sa pagkakaroon ng malawakang kilos protesta sa Bucharest. Noong buwan ng Disyembre naman, ipinasawalang bisa ng Korte Suprema ang halalan dahil sa pangingialam umano ng Russia sa kanilang electoral process. Nagpasya ang Constitutional Court ng Romania 48 hours bago ang araw ng botohan na tuluyang ibasura ang buong proseso ng eleksyon dahil sa posibilidad na maimpluwensyahan ng Russia ang kanilang gobyerno. Inaasahang lalakas ang tsansa ni Kailan Georgescu na isang radical outsider na mananalo sa halalan sa buwan na Mayo.
Nagbabala naman ang Germany na tatapatan nito ng retaliatory measures ang mga karagdagang taripa na ipapataw ng Estados Unidos. Si Leslie Gumarang para sa report.
Noong Lunes, sinabi ni German Chancellor Olaf Scholz na nag-aabang pa ang European Union sa formal na abiso ng Estados Unidos ukol sa dagdag taripa nito sa imported products. Subalit ani Scholz, ang aksyong ito ng US ay tatapatan nito ng karampatang tugon.
Eins ist klar, wir werden das genau prüfen als Europäische Union, wenn uns das offiziell erreicht. Und deshalb kann man jetzt, wo das ja alles noch nicht offiziell ist, dazu nur sehr vorsichtig etwas sagen. Aber das mit großer Klarheit. Wer Zölle verhängt, muss mit Gegenzöllen rechnen.
Sinabi rin ni Scholz na inaasahan nitong ipagpapatuloy ng US ang tulong sa Ukraine. Anya, ito ang matagal na niyang ikinakampanya sa bagong administrasyon.
Was die Unterstützung der Ukraine betrifft, ist eins klar. Wir werden in unserer Unterstützung nicht nachlassen. Deutschland ist in Europa mit weitem Abstand der größte Unterstützer der Ukraine. Das werden wir auch bleiben. Und es ist wichtig, dass jetzt das klare Signal auch von den USA gesandt wird, dass auch in Zukunft die USA weiter ein Unterstützer der Ukraine sind. Darum habe ich geworben, auch in meinem Gespräch mit dem amerikanischen Präsidenten. Und ich gehe davon aus, dass es dieses klare Signal auch geben wird, weil es auch notwendig ist, damit der russische Präsident einsieht, dass er jetzt nicht darauf setzen kann, dass die Unterstützung der Freunde der Ukraine nachlassen wird.
Leslie Gumarang para sa mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Kinondena ng grupong Hamas ang naging pahayag ni Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu na dapat itaguyod ang Palestinian state sa Saudi Arabia.
فإما النصر وإما الشهادة. أما مشاريع الغرب وأمريكا وترامب فهي إلى زوال وستسقط وسنسقطها كما أسقطنا المشاريع التي قبلها. ولذلك هذا عهدنا لأمتنا وعهدنا لشهدائنا. إيمان ما با شهداء ما.
Ayon sa militant group na Hamas, na ang nasabing pahayag ni Netanyahu ay isang hindi magandang pangitain ukol sa paningin ng Israeli Prime Minister sa Saudi Arabia at mga Palestino. Kaninang pinuri ang Saudi Arabia dahil sa pagkondina rin nito sa nasabing pahayag. Una ng kinontra ng Palestinians, Egypt, Jordan at Saudi Arabia. Magugunitang ipinagpipilitan ni Trump ang relocation plan para sa Palestinians ilang araw bago siya ay magpulong kasama si Netanyahu. Kanya namang inilatag ang kanyang proposal sa isang joint press conference noong sila ay nakita sa White House. Nanawagan na lamang ang Hamas ng pagkakaisa ng Arab nations na kontrahin ang anumang mapanirang pahayag.
نحن نطالب الرئيس الأمريكي بتراجع عن مثل هذه التصريحات لأن مثل هذه التصريحات تصب النار على الزيت. شعبنا الفلسطيني وأقوال الحية وفصائل المقاومة مسنودا بأمته العربية والإسلامية سيفشل كل المخططات الهادفة إلى ترحيل الشعب الفلسطيني وإخراجه من أرضه. نطالب الزعماء العرب والمسلمين، نطالب بعقد قمة عربية إسلامية عاجلة للنظر بمثل هذه التصريحات واتخاذ موقف تاريخي وإرسال رسالة للعالم أن الشعب الفلسطيني وقضيته العادلة محتضن من أمته العربية والإسلامية ولن يقبل بمثل هذه المواقف والتصريحات.
Samantala, inanunsyo ng Hamas na kanilang iaantala ang pagpapalayan ng mga bihag nilang Israeli. Inakusahan kasi ng militanteng grupo ang Israel na lumabag sa nilalaman ng ceasefire deal. Ilan sa mga akusasyon nila ay ang pag-aantala ng pagbabalik ng mga lumikas noon sa Northern Gaza at ang patuloy na pag-atake ng Israel sa Strip. Itinanggi naman ng Israel ito at sa halip ay ibinaling sa military wing Hamas ang sisi kung saan sinabi ng Tel Aviv ay tila minamaltrato ng rebeldeng grupo ang kanilang mga bihag.
אנחנו כולנו הזדעזענו מהמראות הקשים של חטופינו ששוחררו בשבת האחרונה. מי שאחראי על כך ישלם על כך. מי שפוגע בחטופינו דמו בראשו.
Dagdag pa ni Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, kanyang pinaghahandaan ang mga sundalo nito para sa posibleng pagsiklab muli ng kaguluhan.
לאחר תקופה מאתגרת, וצריך לומר זאת ביושר, תקופה מאוד מאתגרת, אנחנו רואים עין בעין עם ממשל ארצות הברית את הנושאים המהותיים שעומדים על סדר היום במזרח התיכון. מימוש כל מטרות המלחמה שלנו, לרבות חיסול החמאס, השבת כל חטופינו הביתה, הבטחה שעזה לא תהווה עוד איום על ישראל.
Magugunitang noong Enero na magkasundo ang Hamas at Israel sa pagpapalaya ng mga bihag at mga Palestinian inmates kung saan mayroong 4 na bahagi ang ceasefire. Sa huling bahagi ng ceasefire ay ang tuluyang pag-alis ng mga sundalo ng Israel na nakatalaga sa Gaza.
Kaugnay ng mass deportation ng administrasyon ni Donald Trump, halos 700 mga Peruvians na nakakulong sa Estados Unidos ang humaharap sa deportasyon sa mga darating na linggo. Alamin natin ang mga detalye mula kay Leslie Gumarang.
Ayon sa Peruvian Embassy sa Washington, D.C., nasa 340 Peruvians na ang may deportation orders. Samantalang 343 naman ang nag-aabang sa kawangis na sitwasyon.
40 peruanos, si mal no recuerdo, están esperando su orden de deportación. Lo que nosotros hemos pedido a las autoridades de los Estados Unidos, que las deportaciones de los peruanos se hagan de la manera más rápida y expedita y segura posible.
Pero en Washington reporta que al 5 de febrero del presente año, 340 peruanos se encuentran detenidos con orden de deportación y que 343 peruanos están a la espera de una posible orden de deportación.
Sinabi ng Peruvian Foreign Ministry, may 320,000 Peruvians ang nakatira ng illegal sa US. Ito ay sa 1 milyong Peruvians na nakatira sa Amerika. Mula noong 2022, nang lumagda ang US at Peru sa isang kasunduan kung paano tutugunan ang undocumented na mga individual, nakapag-deport na ang Washington ng higit 12,000 Peruvians. Simula nang maupong muli si Trump bilang Pangulo, tinupad agad nito ang isa sa mga pangako ng kanyang kampanya na maglulunsad ng nakawiwindang na immigration crackdown. Libo-libong undocumented migrants na ang idiniport sa kani-kanilang mga bansa. Leslie Gumarang para sa Mata ng Agila International, Trusted, Connected, On Point.
Patuloy ang pag-alma ng mga demokratikong mambabatas laban sa sinasabi nilang hindi makatarong ang pakikialam ni US Department of Government Efficiency Chief Elon Musk. Magpoprotesta o nagpoprotesta ang mga mambabatas dahil sa nagbabadyang pagpasok ng ahensya ni Musk sa Social Security Administration ng Estados Unidos. Si Michelle Verzonilla para sa detalye.
Noong Lunes, isang grupo ng Democratic lawmakers at mga demonstrador ang nagrally sa labas ng Social Security Administration headquarters sa Maryland. Ito ay dahil sa mga ulat na plano ng grupo ni Elon Musk, ang Department of Government Efficiency, na pasukin na rin at pakialamanan ang ahensya.
As you can see, we have one simple message, which is Elon Musk, keep your hands off of our Social Security. They have accessed highly sensitive personal information on Americans at the Department of Treasury, including Social Security numbers, bank accounts, and other very sensitive information. And we have word, there have been news reports, that their next stop after the Department of Education, where they've been, after NOAA, after CMS for Medicare, is going to be the Social Security Administration. And we say, no, keep your hands off of our Social Security.
It is also the case that those who have served in this building do so no matter who the president is. Many of them have served for decades under Republican presidents, under Democratic presidents, again, because they serve the people. And so what we know here is that the work that our civil servants do is far-reaching. And it is really important to say that when you target civil servants, you also target the people they serve. This is a really important point. And so it is not just the people who are sitting in these seats, but the people that they serve.
Ayon sa mga mambabatas, kung ang tinatarget ay ang mga civil na mga manggagawa, target din ang mga mamamayan. Ayon sa Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, gumagalaw na sa ahensya ang mga kinatawanan ng Department of Government Efficiency mula na mabigyan ang mga ito ng access sa sistema at teknolohiya ng ahensya noong Miyerkules. Noong nakaraang Martes, binigyan naman ng read-only access ang grupo ni Musk sa Payment System Codes, US Treasury. Dahil sa pagpasok na ito ng DOGE sa ilang federal agencies, tumaas ang pag-alala ukol sa seguridad dahil nagkaroon ng access ang grupo sa maselang payroll at spending records. Noong Sabado, isang federal judge ang pansamantalang humarang sa grupo ni Musk na maka-access sa government payment system dahil sa banta ng data leaks. Michelle Verzonilla para sa Mata ng Agila International, Trusted, Connected, On Point.
Inanunsyo ni US President Donald Trump na tatanggalan niya ng security clearance si Joe Biden. Hindi na rin anya makatatanggap ng araw-araw na intelligence briefings ang dating Pangulo. Ayon kasi kay Trump, hindi mapagkakatiwalaan si Biden sa mga sensitibong impormasyon dahil mahina na raw ang memorya nito. Subalit, may ilang political analysts ang nagsabi na baka gumaganti si Trump kay Biden dahil noong taong 2021 ay ni-revoke rin ni Biden ang security briefings para kay Trump dahil pinipilit noon ni Trump na siya ang nanalo sa US presidential elections.
Susunod, higit 50 katao patay sa isang bus crash sa Guatemala.
Canada may plano para tapatan ang US tariffs.
At India naglalayong gumawa ng sariling AI-capable microchip. Antabayanan, magbabalik pong muli ang mata ng Agila International.
If you like to blink twice, are you naughty or nice? Maybe add a little.
It is a signal to the world that we are open for business.
Open for Business with Cesar Vallejos. Every Sunday, 9 p.m.
Sunday 25.
Ang SBP.
If you like to blink twice, are you naughty or nice? Maybe add a little.
Nagbabalik po ang mata ng Agila International at sa pagpapatuloy ng ating mga balita ngayong gabi. Higit sa 50 katao ang namatay matapos mahulog ang isang pampasaherong bus sa isang bangin sa Guatemala. Ayon sa ulat ng Public Ministry, na-recover na ang nasa 53 mga labi ng mga biktima habang may 2 biktima naman na naisugod pa sa pagamutan ang tuluyan ng pumanaw mula sa tinamo nilang apinsala sa katawan. Inihayag naman ng firefighting spokesperson na si Edwin Villagrana na nagsimula ang trahedya mula sa isang hiwalay na multi-vehicular crash sa kalsada. Batay sa investigasyon ng mga otoridad, nasa 115 feet o 35 meters ang lalim ng bangin na pinagbagsakan ng bus. Ipinabot naman ni Guatemalan President Bernardo Arevalo ang kanyang pakikiramay sa pamilya ng mga biktima at nagdeklara ng Day of National Mourning.
Samantala, 1 ang patay at 4 ang nasaktan matapos sumalpok ang isang eroplano sa isa pang nakaparadang eroplano sa Arizona Airport, USA. Alamin natin ang mga detalye mula kay Leo Velasco.
Noong Lunes, isang mid-sized business jet ang sumalpok sa isa pang mid-sized business jet habang lumalapag ito sa airport sa Scottsdale, Arizona. Ayon sa tagapagsalita ng Scottsdale Fire Department na si Dave Folio, isang namatay habang 4 naman ang nasaktan dahil sa insidente. Samantala, sinabi ng Federal Aviation Administration Iniimbestigan nito ang crash na kinasangkutan ng isang Learjet 35A na sumalpok sa isang Gulfstream 200 jet sa runway. Ang insidente ay habang sinusuring kaligtasan ng US air traffic matapos ang trahedyang naganap sa Washington, D.C. nang sumalpok naman ng isang American Airlines commercial plane sa isang military Black Hawk kamakailan kung saan 67 katao ang nasawi. Gayon din matapos mag-crash ang isang twin-engine medevac jet sa Philadelphia na kinamatay naman ng 7 katao. Idagdag pa ang crash din sa Alaska na pumatay naman sa 10 tao. Leo Velasco para sa mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Isang primary student ang patay sa Daejeon, South Korea matapos pagsasasaksakin ng kanyang guro. Ayon sa ulat ng pulisya, kusang inamin ng sospek na kanyang pinatay ang biktima sa loob ng isang paaralan. Natagpuan nilang wala ng buhay na 8 taong gulang na babae sa second floor ng school building bandang 6:00 ng gabi. Ipinag-utos na ni South Korean Acting President Choi Sang-mok ang isang investigasyon na layong maiwasan ang ganitong uri ng insidente. Batay sa inilabas na impormasyon ng Daejeon Education Office, bago ang pananaksak ay galing ang guro mula sa sick leave dahil sa depresyon, pero matapos ang 20 araw ay agad itong bumalik sa paaralan dahil sa rekomendasyon ng doktor na siya ay fit to work. Sa kabila ng assessment ng doktor ay nakakitaan ng pagiging bayolente ang guro ayon sa mga otoridad. Patuloy naman ang interogasyon ng pulisya sa biktima upang alamin ang dahilan ng kanyang pananaksak sa batang babae.
13,000 na ang namatay sa Estados Unidos dahil po yan sa influenza. At ayon sa health experts, lampas na sa 1 milyon ang dinapuan ng flu virus ngayong panahon ng taglamig o winter season. Narito po ang balita mula kay Net25 correspondent Myla Simbulan.
Batay sa isang ulat mula sa UN Centers for Disease Control and Prevention o CDC, ngayong taglamig ay may 13,000 na ang namatay sa bansa dahil sa influenza o trangkaso. Kaugnay nito, nasa 24 na milyon na ang naiulat na nagkasakit at 310,000 naman ang naospital na. Ayon sa CDC, nananatiling mataas ang antas sa bansa ng impeksyon dulot ng influenza. Higit sa 96% ng mga kaso ay iniugnay sa influenza A. Sinabi rin ng CDC na ilang mga eskwelahan sa bansa ang napilitang magsuspendi ng klase dahil sa pagdami ng respiratory infection sa mga estudyante. Nirerekomenda ng CDC na bawat individual 6 na buwang gulang pataas ay magpabakuna laban sa influenza taon-taon, lalong-lalo na ang mga higher risk. Ayon sa ahensya, nakatutulong ang bakuna upang mabawasan ang epekto ng mga sintomas ng influenza, pagpapa-ospital at pagkamatay dahil sa trangkaso. Babala ng CDC, sino mang may sintomas ng trangkaso ay dapat limitahan ang pakikisalamuha sa iba upang maiwasan ang pagkalat ng virus. Myla Simbulan para sa mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Dahil sa extreme heat wave ay sinuspindi ng lokal na pamahalaan ng Brazil ang mga klase sa paaralan sa Rio Grande do Sul. Nagsisimula na sana ang klase ng 2,320 state schools sa southern Brazil ngayong Lunes, pero ni-reschedule ito ng pamahalaan sa Pebrero 17. Ayon sa ilang pamunuan ng eskwelahan doon ay hindi kinakaya ng mga bata o buga ng mga electric fan ang sobrang init sa kanilang lugar. Inaasahan din na lalampas sa 40 degrees Celsius ang init sa southern Brazil at tatagal hanggang Miyerkules ang heat wave sa Rio Grande do Sul.
Bilang tugon sa nagbabadyang taripa ng Estados Unidos, may mainit na kampanya ngayon sa Canada na sinusuportahan ng mga residente at ng mga mangangalakal. Ito po ay ang kampanyang Buy Canadian na mungkahi ni Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Alamin natin ang mga detalye mula kay Net25 correspondent Cherry Recolizado.
Buy Canadian. Ito ang damdamin ngayon sa buong Canada matapos i-anunsyo na ang mga taripa ay magsisimula ngayong linggo. Ngunit ipagpapaliban at ititigil muna ito sa susunod na 30 araw. Noong nakaraang linggo, inanunsyo ni Pangulong Donald Trump na magpapataw sila ng 25% na taripa sa lahat ng produktong galing sa Canada. Dahil dito, ipinahayag ni Prime Minister Justin Trudeau na ang parehong 25% na taripa ay ipapatong niya sa mga produktong Amerikano na pumapasok sa Canada. Bilang tugon dito, ang mga Canadians at mga negosyo sa Canada ay nakiisa sa pamamagitan ng pagsuporta at paghihikayat nila na bumili at suportahan ang mga produktong gawa sa Canada sa halip na tangkilikin ang mga produktong gawa sa Amerika. Kahit na pansamantalang inihinto ang mga taripa, karamihan sa mga tao ngayon ay tinitingnan na ang mga label ng produkto, nagsusuri at nagpo-post ng mga alternatibong produktong Canadian para sa pang-araw-araw na pangangailangan upang suportahan ang mga produktong gawa sa Canada. Ang talumpati ni Prime Minister Justin Trudeau noong nakaraang linggo ay nagbigay inspirasyon sa maraming Canadians na umaksyon at magbigay suporta sa sarili nilang bansa. Cherry Recolisado, Toronto, Ontario, para sa mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Taripa laban sa taripa. Yan ang tila magiging labanan ng mga bansa matapos simula ni US President Donald Trump ang dagdag taripa sa mga produktong inaangkat ng Estados Unidos mula sa ibang mga bansa. Dahil dyan, sinabi ng Brazil na handa itong gumanti sa Trump tariff sakaling ipatupad na ito ng Estados Unidos. Si NJ de Guzman para sa report.
Nag-anunsyo ang Brazil ukol sa plano nitong taripa na ipapataw sa American tech companies kung itutuloy ni US President Donald Trump ang 25% na taripa sa lahat ng angkat na bakal papasok ng Estados Unidos. Ito ayon sa isang lokal na pahayagan na inilathala noong Lunes. Ang Brazil ay isa sa mga pangunahing pinagkukunang ng US ng bakal at key market para sa American tech firms. Ayon sa report, sinabi ng isang opisyal ng gobyerno na maapektuhan nito ang mga kumpanya tulad ng Amazon, Facebook at Instagram ng Meta at Google ng Alphabet. Ang bantang belta ng Brazil sa taripa ay tugon upang protektahan ang industriya ng bakal nito sa gitna ng nagaganap na trade wars. NJ de Guzman para sa mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
At wala pa rin pong BBTO, magbabalik pa rin ang mata ng Agila International.
If you like me, blink twice. Are you naughty or nice? Maybe add a little.
Sa kasulukuyang henerasyon, marami na ang nag-viral. Dahil po yan sa kanilang ginagawang pagtulong sa kapwa. Pero mas marami ang tumutulong kahit walang nakakakita. Kaya naman kung ikaw ay may kilala na grupo o individual na may natatanging pagresponde sa lipunan at maging sa kalikasan, mag-text lamang sa 0915-415-1035 o mag-email sa responde@net25.com at magpadala ng mensahe sa ating Facebook page at Net25TV. Baka kayo na ang susunod nating Certified Key Responder.
Let's net together sa Net25. Sa Net25.
Ang SBP
Nakipagtulungan ng Indian Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology sa Center for Development of Advanced Computing para makapag-develop ng kanilang homegrown na artificial intelligence or AI chip. Ayon sa mga Indian government officials, inaasahan na magsisimula sa 2027 ang produksyon ng mga nasabing AI chips. Ang venture ng India para makapag-develop ng sariling AI chip ay dahil na rin sa pagkilos ng ibang bansa na paunlarin ang kanilang AI technology. Bilang bahagi ng inisyatibo na ito ay naglaan ang India na $1.2 billion para sa tinatawag nilang India AI Mission. Nang ibabaw si Pinoy pole vaulter EJ Obiena sa Metz Moselle sa France. Ito ang unang gold medal na nakuha ni Obiena sa pagpasok ng taong 2025. Ang nasabing panalo ay isang linggo matapos na magkamit ito ng silver medal sa jump meeting Cottbus noong 2025 sa Germany. Nakuha ni Obiena ang 5.70 meters clearance laban sa 7 iba pa. Sinubukan ng world number 4 ang 5.85 meter jump, subalit hindi ito nagtagumpay sa lahat ng attempts. Ang kanyang current record ay maituturing niyang season best para makamit ang unang kintong medalya ng taon.
Opisyal na pong ipinakita ng PBA ang logo ng kanilang ika-50 anibersaryo. Ang nasabing logo ay nababalot ng kulay ginto na nagpapakita ng isa sa mga pinakamatatagal na liga sa bansa na nagsimula pa noong 1975. Sinabi ni PBA Commissioner Willie Marcial na magsasagawa ang liga ng ilang mga festivities sa pagsisimula ng semifinals ng PBA Commissioners Cup Semifinals. Pagdating naman ng Abril 4 at 5 sa Philippine Cup ay naka-embed na ang gold logo nila. Sa April 9, kung saan ang taon na itinaguyod ang liga ay magsasagawa sila ng pagdiriwang bukod pa sa grand opening ng Season 15 ng PBA sa October 5. Tatlong tulog na lang at mapapanood na ang Blooms ang BINI Verse World Tour Concert sa Philippine Arena sa February 15. Samantala, tapos na ang pasahan ng entries para sa Nana Dance Cover Entry na magbibigay ng chance para makapag-perform kasama ang BINI on stage. 3,000 entry lang ang tinanggap at mula dito ay pipili ng 50 mananalo na maaaring makasama ng BINI on stage sa kanilang isang performance. Nag-abiso rin ang grupo na abangan ang mga masaswerteng Blooms na mapipili sa kanilang social media page.
3,000 lang daw, napakarami na.
Hindi lang yun. Pero yung kukunin, sobrang konti lang. Kaya wag na tayong...
Hindi na tuloy kayo mag-join ni Nina. Give chances to others.
Tama. Kanila na lang. Ilang naman.
So abangan niyo po ang BINI. Siyempre, wala pa rin iba yan kundi sa Philippine Arena. At tandaan po ha, narito kami para maghatid ng balita saan mang dako ng mundo. Muli ako po si Ricky Matay.
Ako si Nina Richie Alagao Flores. Ito pa rin po ang mata ng Agila International. Para naman sa iba pang mga balitang nanggaling din sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, punta naman po tayo kay Alma Angeles para sa mata ng Agila World News. Take it away, Alma.
Thank you, Nina Enrique. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alma Angeles for Net25 World News on tonight's headlines. Global markets brace for impact as Trump pushes for higher tariffs on steel and aluminum, potentially ending exemptions for major trading partners Canada, Mexico, and Brazil.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. This is the beginning of making America rich again.
Is the ceasefire on shaky ground? The Middle East ceasefire hangs in the balance as Hamas signals resistance to releasing more hostages. This following concerns over the condition of 3 recently freed men. President Trump weighs in with warnings to Hamas about remaining captives.
Saturday at 12 o'clock. I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
And a story of hope emerges from California's wildfire tragedy as the Iglesia Ni Cristo brings comfort to affected communities through their Care for Humanity outreach.
The devastating fires across Los Angeles have displaced many families, leaving countless without homes. Yet in times like these, the love and support within the Brotherhood of the Church of Christ shine through, ensuring that no one has left without hope.
And the news starts now. A shocking crime in South Korea. A teacher has confessed to stabbing a 7-year-old girl to death at a school in Daejeon. Now, the suspect, a woman in her 40s, is now in the hospital with self-inflicted wounds. Here's more. Authorities say the young victim, a student at the school, was found by her grandmother with fatal stab wounds to the neck and face.
The student's grandmother found the student and the teacher lying on the floor of the equipment room of the audio-visual room. After that, the police opened the locked door and entered. At around 5:40 p.m., the student was taken to the hospital by ambulance, and the student's father went to the hospital by the vice principal's car.
She later died in the hospital. Right now, police are investigating the motive, saying there's no confirmed personal connection between the teacher and the child. Acting President Choi Sang-mok has expressed his condolences and ordered a full investigation into the heartbreaking case. Reports suggest the teacher had been on leave due to depression before returning to work last year.
The teacher was on medical leave from December 9th to December 29th due to depression.
This tragedy has left the nation stunned, raising urgent questions about safety in schools and the mental health of educators. Tensions are heating up on the Korean Peninsula, with North Korea warning it's ready to respond to what it calls a grave threat to its security. Pyongyang is lashing out after a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Alexandria, docked in the South Korean port of Busan. North Korea's defense ministry calls it a clear sign of Washington's confrontational hysteria and says it won't hesitate to act if provoked. The U.S. and South Korea say the submarine stop is routine, allowing the crew to rest and resupply. But North Korea sees it differently, accusing the U.S. of using force to dominate the region. Just days ago, Pyongyang also issued a warning over military drills held near its border, calling them rehearsals for invasion.
The value of training for this is a great impact. It's building those relationships with our counterparts, establishing the ability to both simultaneously strike contact on different objectives, simultaneously building communication lines with each other, which, as everyone knows, communication lines are very important on the battlefield, and then also coordinating with other units as well, the 11th Engineers, the 517, air assets, indirect fires from multiple different areas. It's just very important all around.
And despite heavy U.S. sanctions, North Korea has been ramping up its rhetoric, especially since President Trump took office last month. So is this just more posturing from Pyongyang? Or are we looking at another escalation in an already volatile region? At least one person has been killed after a mid-sized business jet skidded off the runway while landing at the Scottsdale, Arizona Municipal Airport. Now, the accident happened Monday when the plane collided with another jet that was parked. Take a look.
We requested additional hazmat units just to do metering in the surrounding buildings attached or to the area of that location. They went in and got an all clear of the structures and metered the structures with 0 readings. I can tell you that we have 5 souls, 1 DOA, 2 immediates that have been transported to local trauma centers, 1 delayed stable to a local hospital, and this is a still active scene. We're still working on extricating 1 soul out of one of the airplanes.
As of 7:30 last night, that person remained trapped in one of the planes. Folio provided no other details, and it wasn't immediately clear what caused the jet to skid off the runway. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, says it is investigating the crash. The agency says it involved a Learjet 35A that skidded off the runway, which then collided with a Gulfstream 200 jet. This incident comes at a time of heightened scrutiny of U.S. air safety. National Transportation Safety Board investigators are probing 3 deadly crashes in recent weeks. They include a mid-air collision of a passenger jet and U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter in Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people, a medical jet crash in Philadelphia that killed 7 people, and a plane crash in Alaska that killed 10 people. Is the U.S. heading towards a multi-front trade war? President Donald Trump moved to significantly raise tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, canceling exemptions and duty-free quotas. Arlene Ocampo has more.
Under Trump's order, tariffs on aluminum imports rise to 25% from the previous 10% that he imposed in 2018 to aid the struggling sector.
And today I'm simplifying our tariffs on steel and aluminum so that everyone can understand exactly what it means. It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions, and that's all countries, no matter where it comes from, all countries. If made in the United States, however, United States of America, is a big deal. It's a big deal. This is the beginning of making America rich again.
His action reinstates a 25% tariff on millions of tons of steel and aluminum imports that had been entering the U.S. duty-free under quota deals, exemptions, and thousands of product exclusions. Trump imposed the original tariffs in 2018 to protect steel and aluminum makers. A White House official says the exemptions have eroded the effectiveness of these measures. The order also targets downstream steel products that use imported steel. Reaction around the world has been swift.
Imports of Canadian steel and aluminum create thousands, if not millions, of jobs and support families across the United States. We have been doing things together in an extraordinarily integrated way for many, many years, and we will look to continue to work with our closest ally and partner. We should be doing more together, not fighting with each other, but Canadians will stand up strongly and firmly if we need to.
EU spokesman Olive Gill says the EU sees no justification for the tariffs and will react to protect the interests of European businesses, workers, and consumers. Gill says at this point the EU has no plan to introduce tariffs of its own.
Tariffs are essentially taxes. By imposing tariffs, the EU would be taxing its own citizens, raising costs for businesses and fueling inflation. Moreover, tariffs heighten economic uncertainty and disrupt the efficiency and integration of global markets.
European steelmakers account for about 15% of imports into the U.S. In China, business leaders say they anticipated Trump's election last fall and have made preparations to deal with his policies. They add, Americans will face higher prices. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says he will press Trump for exemptions for Australian steel.
Australian companies have significant investments in US steel industry, creating thousands of jobs in both the US and in Australia. We will continue to make the case for Australia's national interest with the US administration, and what's more, we regard this as also being in the US's national interest as well. Because tariffs, of course, don't tax us, they tax the purchasers of our products.
Trump's new tariffs and the threat of a global trade war pushed up gold prices on Monday. The precious metal broke through the $2,900 per ounce level for the first time. The price is being driven by safe haven demand. Arlene Ocampo for Net 25 World News.
Could the ongoing U.S. trade war actually work in the Philippines' favor? NEDA Undersecretary Rosemary Edilon believes so, saying the country has a chance to position itself as an alternative export hub for American markets. Now, speaking at a Malacanang press briefing, Edilon pointed to key industries like semiconductors and chips as areas that could benefit. But will this shift impact local jobs? And so far, she says there's no direct effect, though any changes could come from fluctuations in the exchange rate.
Kung maipoposition natin ang ating bansa na as a very attractive alternative source ng for this mga dating ini-export sa US ganyan. So actually pwede pang maging ma-benefit tayo. We can really gain a lot from yung mga regional na free trade agreements natin. So we're assuming na like in the case of yung mga let's say Canada, Mexico, baka ang gagawin nila i-maximize nila yung mga regional free trade agreements, and this is where we can really benefit.
The National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, remains confident despite the temporary suspension of U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID operations, stating that alternative funding sources are available for affected projects in the Philippines. Now, during a briefing, NEDA Undersecretary Rosemary Edilon acknowledged that the Trump administration's 90-day freeze on U.S. aid projects would impact Philippine initiatives. However, she emphasized that most affected programs involve technical assistance for which funding can be secured from other development partners.
And that will also affect yung mga projects natin with USAID. But just to say as well, na iba na rin kasi yung situation natin noon kaysa yung sa ngayon. Dati kasi we even depend on USAID for school buildings natin, di ba ganun? Ngayon hindi na tayo sa ganun situation eh. So it's really more of the technical assistance part, which actually pwede rin naman tayo mag-source from other development partners.
Is the Gaza ceasefire on the brink of collapse? Now, President Donald Trump says the truce should be canceled unless Hamas releases all hostages by noon Saturday. But will Hamas comply? The group announced a delay in the release of hostages, claiming Israel has violated the ceasefire agreement. Thomas Eyelackness for more.
Trump says it's ultimately up to Israel whether it continues the ceasefire. The president says he might speak to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the issue, but he's adamant that the remaining hostages be freed by noon on Saturday.
I'd say they ought to be returned by 12 o'clock on Saturday, and if they're not returned, all of them, not in drips and drabs, not 2 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. Saturday at 12 o'clock, and after that, I would say all hell is going to break out. And I don't think they're going to do it. I think a lot of them are dead. I think a lot of the hostages are dead. I think it's a great human tragedy what's happened, how people can be that mean to do.
Shortly before Hamas said it would stop releasing hostages, Netanyahu gave an angry speech to the Israeli parliament, saying whoever hurts Israeli hostages will pay for it. Opposition lawmakers repeatedly interrupted his speech. The Hamas announcement prompted protesters to block a highway in Tel Aviv and demand the return of those still being held hostage. Meanwhile, Netanyahu has praised Trump's plan for the U.S. to take over Gaza, calling it revolutionary. And Trump has doubled down on his proposal to turn Gaza into what he calls the Riviera of the Middle East. In a Fox News interview, Trump now says Palestinians will have no right to return to Gaza under his proposal.
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them, because if they have to return now, it will be years before you could ever. It's not habitable. It will be years before it could happen. I'm talking about starting to build, and I think I could make a deal with Jordan. I think I could make a deal with Egypt. You know, we give them billions and billions of dollars a year.
On Monday, Egypt's foreign minister told Secretary of State Marco Rubio that the Arab states support the Palestinians in rejecting Trump's plan. The former head of Human Rights Watch says Trump's plan is nothing more than a war crime. Kenneth Roth says the forced deportation, the forced expulsion of the Palestinians from Gaza amounts to ethnic cleansing of the region.
What Trump is proposing is a blatant war crime and arguably a crime against humanity. Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949, which Israel, the United States, and basically everybody else has ratified, so this is international law, prohibits forcing people in occupied territory to leave. Exactly what Trump is proposing. What Trump is doing here is, in a sense, endorsing the far-right Israeli view for how to solve the Palestinian problem. Just get rid of the Palestinians.
More than ever, the Middle East needs diplomacy to cool things down. And that requires a lot more thought than knee-jerk reactions. The fiery rhetoric from Trump, Netanyahu, and Hamas just pours more gasoline on a fire that's been raging for nearly a year and a half now. Instead of tough talk, they should be finding ways to prolong the ceasefire instead of looking for ways to end it. Thomas I. Likeness, Net 25 World News.
In what can only be described as the latest chapter in Silicon Valley's most dramatic tech rivalry, Elon Musk has just made a jaw-dropping $97.4 billion bid to buy OpenAI's nonprofit parent organization. Now, if you're wondering what's behind this massive offer, it's essentially Musk trying to stop OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, from becoming a for-profit business.
Elon Musk! A consortium led by Elon Musk said on Monday it has offered $97.4 billion to buy the nonprofit that controls OpenAI. It's another attempt by the billionaire to block the artificial intelligence startup from transitioning to a for-profit firm. Musk's bid is likely to ramp up a long-standing feud with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman over the future of the ChatGPT maker. Altman on Monday posted on X, quote, "No thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion if you want." Musk co-founded OpenAI with Altman in 2015 as a nonprofit, but left before the company took off. He went on to found the competing AI startup xAI in 2023. OpenAI is now trying to transition from a nonprofit into a for-profit entity. It says that restructure is required to raise the funds needed to develop the best AI models. Musk's new offer is only his most recent attempt to throw a wrench in those plans. In August last year, Musk sued Altman and others, claiming they broke contract by putting profit ahead of the public good in the push to advance AI. Then, in November, he tried in court to block OpenAI from converting to a for-profit structure. The consortium led by Musk that is now trying to buy OpenAI's parent nonprofit includes xAI and several investment firms. Were a deal to go through, xAI could merge with OpenAI, according to the Wall Street Journal, which first reported Musk's offer earlier on Monday. Aside from any antitrust implications, a deal of this size would need Musk and his consortium to raise enormous amounts of funding. According to an uninvolved investment banker, in order to finance such a bid, Musk could sell part of his stake in Tesla or take a loan against his stake. He could also put up as collateral his stake in rocket company SpaceX, which is worth tens of billions of dollars.
Hong Kong plans to file a complaint with the World Trade Organization following the United States' decision to impose a new 10% tariff on Hong Kong products. Arian Ocampo brings us more details.
The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, or HKSAR government, announced it will be filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization, or WTO. This over the U.S. decision to impose an additional 10% tariff on goods from Hong Kong. HKSAR says the U.S. measures are grossly inconsistent with the relevant WTO rules. The measures, HKSAR says, ignore HK's status as a separate customs territory as stipulated in Article 116 of the Basic Law and recognized by the WTO. The spokesman says that the HKSAR government will formally launch procedures in accordance with the WTO dispute settlement mechanism against the U.S.'s unreasonable measures. This, he says, to defend HK's legitimate rights. The spokesman reiterates that Hong Kong is a staunch supporter of the rule-based multilateral trading system, and that the HKSAR government strongly opposes the U.S. measures and urges the United States to take immediate actions to rectify what HK calls a wrongdoing.
And regarding the U.S. the tariffs on Hong Kong, I think this is absolutely inconsistent with the WTO, the rules. Of course, and also they have to totally disregard that Hong Kong is a separate customs territory. And we have, and we will file a complaint with the WTO regarding this unreasonable arrangement.
As part of fulfilling his campaign promises, U.S. President Donald Trump announced imposing additional tariffs on countries like Canada, Mexico, and China. Trump, however, put a pause on Canada's and Mexico's in a deal that the two countries will help the U.S. with curbing illegal immigration and fentanyl trafficking. Arlene Ocampo for Net 25 World News.
And the news continues here on Net 25. We'll be right back. World leaders and top tech figures are in Paris for a major AI summit, and the conversation is already heating up. It kicked off last week with French President Emmanuel Macron sealing a $50 billion AI investment deal with the UAE. And now, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is making waves, warning that Europe's strict AI regulations could stifle innovation. He's also taking a firm stance against content moderation, calling it authoritarian censorship. So where does the future of AI regulation go from here?
And we need our European friends in particular to look to this new frontier with optimism rather than trepidation. Many of our most productive tech companies are forced to deal with the EU's Digital Services Act and the massive regulations it created about taking down content and policing so-called misinformation. And of course, we want to ensure the internet is a safe place, but it is one thing to prevent a predator from preying on a child on the internet, and it is something quite different to prevent a grown man or woman from accessing an opinion that the government thinks is misinformation. We believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off. We feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship.
In the wake of Southern California's devastating wildfires, the Iglesia Ni Cristo extended its arms of compassion through a special Care for Humanity event. Through uplifting songs and care packages, the church brought light to those affected, ensuring that hope remained alive in every heart touched by the disaster.
Thousands of people are under evacuation orders in Southern California as strong winds fuel new wildfires in the Los Angeles area.
I have never seen flames from my house like this, ever.
The visuals of the Southern California fires that became headlines known throughout the world. Caused by drought and other factors like the Santa Ana winds, the over 30-plus fires continue to devastate families in its wake. The two largest being the Palisades and Eden fires are likely the fourth and second most destructive fires in California's history. And they've left families without homes like Juliana's.
We lost everything, our home for over 45 years. Of course, it's all like material stuff, but like it holds memories.
Juliana and her family is just one account of many trying to figure out how to move forward. But in recognizing these great struggles in the surrounding areas of the Eden fire, families would be met with concern and care through an outreach event. In Pasadena, members from the Ecclesiastical District of Los Angeles County united to put together a Care for Humanity event, preparing care packages filled with daily life essentials and non-perishable foods, distributing them to families in great need.
It's been really awesome to be seeing everyone come together and do things like this, and honestly we appreciate it so much. It's really nice. It's gonna help us out a lot. Anything, we don't have anything, so anything, seriously anything helps. And there was a little bit of performances from little ones. It was really nice to see. It was inspiring. And then there was a prayer for everyone affected, and it was really nice. And the care packages, obviously, we appreciate it so much.
Others like Harvey, a member of the Church of Christ, who had to evacuate with his family, were also thankful for today's event.
Night before the actual fire happened, we didn't expect it to reach us. My house was one of the 3 in my neighborhood to survive. 2 houses next to me, and the house right next to me, it's completely gone, but our house remains. It's been tough, it really has been. But we're taking it a day at a time. You know, I've never been used to being the one to receive. I'm always trying to help them, but being able to receive, we didn't have much when we were able to evacuate. So once we saw what was in the bag, we're like, oh wow, this actually does help a lot.
It has affected us greatly. I think there's, so many different calamities that happen, but this one definitely hit close to home. It's our community, it's my family, my immediate family that has been affected, and there's not really, there's no place for them to go back home to, and that it's not going to be the same. All we can do is really just be there for them, be present, and provide their necessities, and the support really is, what we've been doing, and they're just so grateful for the support, the love that they felt today. That the church, not only helps the brethren who are also affected in the neighborhood, but also our fellow men.
The Care for Humanity that the church, through the leadership of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, continue to do is not only to give them the things that they need, but also to let them feel that they are so loved, and we care for them. Out of love of Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, not only for us, members in the church, but even to our fellow men, especially those who are affected with this calamity that continue to happen here in our area in Los Angeles County. And also this is in obedience with God's commands to us, that is to help our fellow men.
It's really amazing on how our leaders think about our safety, our well-being. They always were reaching out. So I'm very, very thankful to all of our leaders, not just district, but also in the Philippines. And at the same time, all the essentials are there to be able to help out to everyone who's in need. So we're so thankful about that.
And while members of the Church of Christ and guests alike were all able to benefit from the supplies given today, they were uplifted by the message that was shared.
We were talking with one of the guests that joined us in this activity today, saving up, taking care of, and building their life for more than 30 years. All gone within an instant. And so this activity that we're having today inside the Church of Christ, it's not only just going to help them with their daily necessities, but what they're really looking for, and the rest of the community, is that spiritual upliftment, that hope, that inspiration that can be given to them through the words of God that are being shared with them this afternoon. And what we're planning is to hold more Care for Humanity activities in the neighborhoods that have been affected.
Makes it kind of like hard to be so sad, because it's like everyone's doing all these nice things to help each other. We appreciate it. We appreciate it so much. Yeah, I can't even express how grateful I am for everything that we've received.
I would like to thank Brother Eduardo B. Manalo, Brother Angela Ranyo Manalo, the ministers inside the church, the brethren, at a time that it's really, really hard. The Church of Christ is always there, supporting everyone, and our families, us, as brethren. The first place we want to run to is a place of worship. So we're really thankful. Thank you both for the support. Thank you for having Care for Humanity.
The devastating fires across Los Angeles have displaced many families, leaving countless without homes. Yet in times like these, the love and support within the Brotherhood of the Church of Christ shine through, ensuring that no one has left without hope. From Pasadena, California, I'm Christine Andrade.
And as we close tonight's broadcast, let us remember that in times of crisis, kindness knows no boundaries. From our newsroom to your world, this is Alma Angeles for Net 25 World News. Good night.